My mother keeps trying to guilt trip me into letting her sleep on the floor of my wedding suite, even though I will be in there with my fiancé. Posted by you/anonymous brides. My bride, 35F, and I, 41F, initially planned an elopement in Vegas, but, of course, everyone wanted to come. So, we paid to have a micro wedding, under 10 people, for our most special guests. Everyone is responsible for their own rooms, arrangements, flights, etc., which we communicated on our website, though no one seems to have read it. We planned a week in Vegas, with the first few days reserved for just me and my future wife. However, my mother doesn't want to fly out to Vegas just for the wedding. Since she's never been to Vegas, she wants to make a full trip out of it. To me, this isn't a family trip. Although my family will be there, this is a trip for me and my wife. It's our wedding, after all. A few months ago, my mother suggested staying with us in our hotel suite for the first few nights, the three of us. I shut that idea down immediately, explaining that there wouldn't be enough room. It's a wedding suite with one king bed and a thin couch. I was honestly surprised she even suggested it. Weather has been bad for my family and my bride's family in their respective cities. Last night, my mother called to tell me she might not be able to fly out a few days before the wedding. She's thinking of canceling her hotel room for those 3 days because she doesn't want to lose money. For me, that's not a huge loss, we wanted the time alone anyway. But as I kept listening, I knew she'd eventually ask about staying with us. Mom, so, if I cancel my hotel room but end up going out that day anyway, can I stay with you in your room? Me, Mom, there's only one bed, and the couch is way too thin. Mom, I'll sleep on the floor. Me, Mom, no, it's not appropriate to stay in our wedding suite during the wedding week. Mom, I don't understand, you guys live together. What's the difference? Me, it's not appropriate. Mom, you've made it very clear that you don't want me there those days before the wedding. That part is somewhat true, we wanted to be alone, but she wanted to come earlier. Me, Mom, you know I've already bought tickets to events that include you, and we have brunch plans on this day. I'd rather you be safe, and if you need to fly out a couple of days later, that's fine. Mom, I'm worried I'm going to miss your wedding, and then you'll be mad I missed your wedding. She's referencing something she told me 20 years ago, that she wouldn't attend my wedding if I married a woman. She's come a long way since then and loves my partner now. I never thought my own mother would be so enmeshed with me that she'd suggest staying in my room with me and my partner. Why? I can't even wrap my head around why she'd want to stay with her daughter and her new wife in their wedding suite. I can't believe I had to explain to the woman who raised me, the woman who taught me manners and respect, why this wasn't appropriate. I feel so guilty, probably because I was conditioned to feel guilty as a child, but I know I'm making the right decision. I just never expected my own mother to act like a monster-in-law. Relevant comments. Commenter. You handled it well. I would have said, Mom, what do you think a couple who's getting married will want to do together when they're in their wedding suite? Does she not realize how inappropriate that is? Ops response. I don't get it. Usually, my mother knows how to act in specific situations like these, but as the years go on, I have to remind her. We were recently at a friend's house, and she had her tennis shoes on the couch. I had to get her attention and tell her to get her feet off the couch. She said, I love how the roles have changed, you're the mother, and I'm the daughter. And I said, I wasn't raised to put my feet up on someone's couch. Commenter's response. How old is your mom? Has she been forgetful lately? Ops response. 60, recently retired, 2 years, probably bored, no boyfriend or husband. Likely lives vicariously through me. I don't see any signs of dementia yet, but her sleep habits are terrible. Commenter 2. Given this information, I suspect your mom is probably lonely or bored, overly enmeshed with you. Are you an only child, lacking confidence and feeling left out or isolated now that you're an adult with your own life and nuclear family? I think it's probably less about her not fully understanding the hey, we're newlyweds and plan on having lots of enthusiastic newlywed sex part, and more about her being nervous about traveling and staying alone, seeking the comfort and security of staying with you. My mom is very similar. She finds it incredibly difficult to respect appropriate boundaries with her now adult children, and the roles have reversed such that I, as her oldest daughter, am expected to be her primary source of emotional support. Either way, you are handling this completely correctly. Continue to maintain that boundary and ensure the hotel knows that no one other than you and your soon-to-be wife should have a key to your room. Ops response. So, I've been doing a lot of reading lately, and I'm in therapy because of my mother. I'm noticing a lot of enmeshment. As the oldest and only daughter, I've always been responsible for her feelings, pretty much the same as you. It's still difficult to handle. I really have to stick to boundaries on this one. I think she's feeling a little excluded, but not because of anything we did. She just needs to check herself and these new emotions. Commenter 3. Has she always parentified you? Ops response. Yes, when my brothers were born, I was 15, an instant built-in babysitter. They didn't even hide it and joked about it right in front of me. Update 2 weeks later. Well, I'm sure you're all wondering how the wedding went and where mom slept. I feel like my story has taken a sad turn. My relationship with my mother is worse than I thought. I'll get to the story now. We both arrived at the airport around the same time from our different flights, and my mom was dealing with pain that affected her ability to walk. Not great, considering we were going to be walking around in Vegas. I offered her Advil multiple times, but she rejected it. I believe she may have taken it from me once. We arrived at her hotel first. I assume she never canceled her reservation, lol, because she did have one. We dropped our bags in her room and got on with our plans. Later that night, my wife and I checked into our suite, alone. The first fight with my mom happened the next day in my suite. She had interrupted me several times that day, one of our many problems, and then pointed out how I interrupted her. At one point, I tried to start my story again. She interrupted me, and I said in exasperation, "Do you know how many times I've tried to tell this story today, and you've interrupted me?" Then I asked, "Do you do this to everyone, or just me?" She responded by putting her middle finger in my face and screaming, "F you, F you, F you." My wife had to intervene, saying, "Whoa, that was not necessary." My wife later told me she almost threw her out of our room. I stuck to my I statements and said, "When you cut me off, it makes me feel like what I'm saying isn't important." I probably should have addressed the FUs, but it was too heated in the moment. I tried to de-escalate and decided to address it at a later time. At this point, I'm realizing my mother is immature, emotionally immature. Whatever feelings she experiences when I confront her, genuinely, by the way, like when I asked if she does this to everyone or just me, she can't handle it and freaks out on me like a high schooler. It's sad, and I'm devastated, honestly. Gaining this insight during my wedding getaway caused me a lot of pain. I've been searching for answers for a long time. I've wondered if she's narcissistic. My therapist mentioned possible BPD, but I'm currently looking into emotional immaturity. I've learned it can coincide with narcissism or BPD, so I can't necessarily rule those out. Then, the night after that, the rest of the party started to arrive. My wife's best friend arrived very late and had a reservation at our hotel. She called my wife to let her know her room wasn't ready, and they were working on finding one for her. My mother chimed in, "She didn't call?" My name, she didn't call in advance to let them know? I realized very quickly that she was making it sound like this was somehow my responsibility, that the friend's problem was suddenly my problem. "Mom, I don't know if she called in advance. She's responsible for her own travel and her own hotel room," I said. She responded, "Well, are you going to let her stay in your hotel room if she doesn't get a room?" I replied, "No, she's not staying in my room. There are plenty of hotel rooms in Vegas. She will get a room tonight. She's a big girl, Mom." "That's effed up," she said. A good friend of mine also came on the trip with her new partner. They stayed in a different hotel, which wasn't a problem. She didn't arrive at my hotel suite until we were about to be picked up by the limo. She gets along with my mom really well. The minute we got into the limo, the two of them were attached at the hip, and I felt like I barely spoke to my friend. I have video and pictures specifically showing them ignoring everyone else in the limo and only talking to each other. I took them because I felt like the party was kind of divided in the limo. The wedding went off without a hitch. It was absolutely beautiful, and I was so incredibly happy, crying tears of joy, I hope, and not tears from how emotionally drained I was after the week I'd already had. The next morning, my friend once again ignored me to have breakfast with her partner. We had discussed in advance the time everyone was getting together, but she scheduled her reservation for 30 minutes earlier. She sat at a different table and ate alone with her partner. We got a table next to hers with 2 extra chairs, but she didn't join us. Later, she asked my wife if I was upset, and my wife responded, "She thought she'd spend a little time with you on the trip." I tried to let the feeling go, but I'm just devastated by the people I'm allowing in my life at the moment. I'm seriously considering reevaluating these relationships. Later that night in my hotel room, I received a text from my good friend saying she was leaving the trip a little early and blaming it on work. I really don't know why she even came. Just for the vacation, I guess. I barely said 2 words to her in the 5 hours I saw her. Sad, sad, sad. I feel so sad about this, about all of it. Other than the drama, I really enjoyed the trip. I had a lovely time with my wife and was very happy with our hair, makeup, vendors, and ceremony. Everything was so beautiful, and I'm thankful they came to see us get married. I definitely had some insecurities before going on this trip, and it's a reality check that I have issues with some people in my life. I'm currently in therapy and had a discussion with my therapist about this. I'm certainly not going no contact or ghosting anyone after this, but discussions need to be had and therapy needs to continue. Books need to be read and changes need to be put into practice. All I can do is commit myself to a healthy life in all ways and practice radical acceptance. If anyone has advice on how to let go of the pain, accept it, or be less emotional about it all, I'm all ears. Thanks for listening. Relationships are hard, especially with emotionally immature people. Relevant comments. Commenter. Why on earth would you rule out no contact? It is obviously the right answer. Ops response. I'm low contact for now. Commenter 2. Look at it this way, your friend wrangled your mom for you. Your mom could have screamed at you in the limo, as she is unhinged and immature. Even though your friend didn't spend time with you, she placated the biggest problem. And you don't know what your mom said to her. I would send her a text saying that you missed getting to visit with her at your wedding but that you're glad she was there. Don't discuss your mom with her at all. I'm sorry that you have a mother with unregulated emotions. I do as well. Critical thinking skills absent, zero accountability, not intelligent, loves to guilt, blame, gossip, and eat. Ops response. Lamau at the eat part. Mine likes to run her mouth and interrupt people. Thanks for your support. I texted my friend after your message and only after your message. Thanks again. Op in a different comment with info about the text. I have been in contact with my friend, but she hasn't mentioned anything about helping me with my mom, distracting her, etc. My mom attached herself to my friend and her partner. Also, I never saw my friend on any other day except the wedding. At the brunch the next morning, my friend was sitting with her back to me at the table next to mine.